Summer of 1969, and I had the opportunity to meet you guys. You guys had just run the long trail, and every night you'd stop off at somebody's house, I think, and have a little PR for the U.S. ski team. Tell us about it.
I'm glad to tell you about it. It was quite an adventure. First of all, we can't run the long trail except in a few sections. Maybe 10% of you can run. The rest of it's a hike. And try as you might, it's hard to get any faster than 3 miles an hour because there's too many ups, too many downs, roots, rocks, stumps, and mud holes. An interesting fact is that, we hiked the whole thing without a water bottle, without any food other than a few dextrose pills we keep in a little plastic bag tucked into our belt. And we would drink out of the streams. Nowadays, people have to be horrified. You might catch Giardia or something, but none of us got Giardia, and we'd have beer for lunch too. So,
but all the ski resorts along the way put out a big spread for us when we came by, helped us with lunch and that time. And you talk about chemistry being developed. It was really fun. But have Bob tell you about bicycling through Vermont. Then we did parts of New Hampshire, and it was about 10 days. We were going 110, 120 miles a day. He's got the stories. Tell him, Bob.
Well, yeah, and actually after the hike, which we called our thing that John called organized, he decided we'd have the bike the next time. And we actually started in Massachusetts. Went from about 100 miles a day, 100 plus, Massachusetts to Maine, to New Hampshire, to northern Vermont, and back down the west side of Lake Champlain, back in Vermont at Manchester, and made a loop back to Putney and finished at Putney. It was tough, especially for those people that were used to riding in packs and knowing how to draft and didn't have lightweight bicycles. It was tough.
But you were kind of a biker back then,
I was then, yeah. For me, it was easy because I'd been biking and racing some at that point, so I knew about drafting and saving yourself and not being out front the whole time, breaking wind. There's all kinds of stories. It could go on forever. I mean,
so if you think back on many of those workouts that you guys did, if they weren't all good physically, as far as developing your physique, they're probably pretty good mental workouts.
Really good mental. That long trail hike was tough. Everett Dunkley showed up in brand new basketball sneakers without clipping his toenails, and by the end of the first day there was blood coming out of his shoes, and he hiked the whole thing. One day he went barefooted the whole day. I mean, his eyeballs were sunken back into sockets, but he made it. I'm telling you, one tough hombre. All of us had sore feet because nowadays have these wonderful lightweight hiking shoes. We just basically went in Adidas and things, over rock, and our feet got beat to pieces. I mean, and then because you start walking funny and your knees would give out because you weren't walking normally because your feet hurt so bad. But yeah, we did it. But I want to add that if we were to go for the record again, what we would do is stay on the trail. So we'd get up early in the morning and get on the trail. We had to drive an hour to get on the trail we left off. And at night was a banquet every night, a cocktail party. We had to stand on our feet and socialize because it was a PR campaign. And so we didn't get off our feet after hiking for 9 or 10 or 12 hours a day. We had to stand on our feet for another 3 or 4 hours, get to bed 10 o'clock at night, try to get some rest, try to get our shoes and socks washed. The next morning, 6, we're up again back on the trail by 8 or 9. So it was tough.
So you probably had a couple months recovery after that.
Yeah, right? It was tough.
Well, on the bicycle trip, we just had tennis shoes, or running shoes.
Yeah.
No helmet, no brain basket, no jersey, no water bottle. But we got support because Timmy Caldwell was riding and John organized and did a wonderful job. So we had a lot of support for that type of thing. We had Stan Swain, who was on the national cycling team, and he had thighs, humongous thighs. Keep it on the flat and the rolling train, we couldn't keep with him. But on the hills, we dropped him big time.
All right, that's great.